Hi, good day, and welcome to Dynamic DG. Now, in this section, I wish to talk about the UK economy post Brexit. Now, it seems that I have in past videos, I have to confess, said that I think we will head towards a recession. Now, it seems that the data um, actually, the referendum is what three? It's 3 months anniversary. Well, not anniversary. It's not years, it's months. But you know what I mean. It's 3 months to the day that the referendum occurred, and I have to say the economy since then. There's been a mix of data, to be fair, but I would say most of the data has been on the positive more so than the negative. So once the GDP figures are released for this quarter, what it would be for July. Okay, April to June would have been the second quarter of 2016. So the third quarter will be July, August, and September. So we're still in the third quarter. Um, I would say, I would say it would be positive GDP growth. Probably not to the degree it would have been had we chose to remain, but things generally seem pretty static. So it's probably true that there's not been an appreciable dent to the economy. Um, People are slating the economics profession, saying, "Oh, they don't know what they're doing." Or the thing is, economics is not based on predictions, and economic predictions have to be taken, I think, with a general pinch of salt, um, because the economy, like most human activities, very highly dynamic. It's highly unpredictable. There's so many variables and that can occur that can make things skewed. Um, so it is that does not bring in economics as a science into question, or economists as a profession into question. It just highlights how you know complex any economy of a country is, because I said there's a myriad of factors that can occur that one simply cannot predict or account for. Um, However, the long-term effects, well, no one knows. We don't know how in 5 years, 10 years, because again, anything can happen. Um, I would say though, in the next year, it's very possible that the UK won't go into a recession, and that things may be relatively stable. But other than that, it's very, as I say, no one truly knows what will happen in the very long term. It's difficult to very well. It's impossible to say. There's so many different variables. For example, this no vote. No one, very few expected it. I think even Brexiteers like Nigel Farage, and let's just say that the Leave campaign did not expect them to win, because um, you, you know so the world is an inherently volatile place. I suppose this Brexit thing possibly proved it. Um, Now, in terms of Article 50, um, I think Mrs. May is being prudent in not calling it, and I don't think we should have a general election. I think that's the last thing we need, because even though the Tories will most likely win it, even if Corbyn gets back, or even this Smith fellow gets in, I think the Tories will still win it. But even still, we don't need that extra uncertainty or extra flux. I don't think it's prudent at this time. Um, I think essentially Mrs. May has two, let's say three, four primary objectives. I think for the remainder of this Parliament until the next general election. One is obviously to secure the best Brexit deal for Britain possible. Um, Secondly, I think it is to ensure the economy remains healthy. Well, of course, that's a priority in any time and space, of course. But I think especially now with the us leaving the EU, I think it's imperative that this does happen. Um, Third, I think she needs to concentrate on infrastructure. I believe she needs to also develop. Well, this is point three, point three A infrastructure. So the Crossrail. Well, obviously that was not going to cease when Cameron left, but nonetheless, I think Crossrail and similar projects need to be continued. Also, things such as the Hinkley Point thing, possibly a move towards renewable energies, wave power. Also, well, the grammar school thing's an interesting one. However, that is controversial, though it could be that grammar schools may not. Well, I'm going to make a video on that in a subsequent time, perhaps. But I think she has talked about greater meritocracy, and well, she's a one nation Tory. So I suppose the grammar school's policy that she has specified does relate to her, shall I say, political philosophy and principles. Also, a fourth, I think, is securing new trade deals with other countries. So I think those have to be our priorities. And so thus far, the economy hasn't tanked at all, certainly not. And I think it will be very interesting to see what the Chancellor Hammond proposes in his budget. I think he says he wants to reset fiscal policy. I think we need to reset our entire macroeconomic strategy because we're entering a new paradigm. But in that regard, I think it's way too early to judge Mrs. May in her competence as a prime minister. So she's only been in the job for what, 2 months. So we have to wait and see in that regard. But I think as a foresighted, those are her 4 challenges between now and the end of this parliament. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.